Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. I haven't posted in a minute and I know I'm ridiculous. I know I am, and I apologize for that, but life has been lifing, things have been happening, but I'm back now. Hopefully consistent. I have a problem with that word, consistency. But anyways, let's talk about another cold case from Vineland, Ontario. Never heard about this area until I was researching this case, but it's basically in the Niagara region where you go to do your wine tasting. And on May 8th, 1999, the body of an unidentified woman was found in a roadside ditch along Victoria Avenue and 8th Avenue. Two cyclists were, riding by. It was May 8th, as I said, so that's like spring. And they were riding by and they found the body. They called 911. Police came out and they started to investigate. The woman was partially nude, so there was no ID on her. All she was wearing was nylon stockings. She had on a gold ankle bracelet and one gold hoop earring. Her body laid in the morgue for 3 weeks before she was identified. And police got desperate and they did something that they don't normally do, or they don't like to do. They released the pictures of the unalive body in the morgue, and that's how she was identified. She was there for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. When she was identified, her name was found out to be Nadine Gurczenski. She was 26 years old, originally from Jamaica. In 1990, she had met her husband, Paul I have a problem with that name, Gurczenski. She met her husband, Paul, in Montego Bay in 1990. They, they started a relationship. By 1992, Nadine had moved they got married first. They got married. And by 1992, Nadine had moved from Jamaica to settle in St. Catharines, Ontario. They end up having a daughter named Heather. And by the time Heather was 1, the relationship has started to break down. Don't you hate when that happens? You're in love, you're in a relationship, and then sometimes as soon as a baby comes along, it causes a breakdown. But what it was, from what I gathered, I watched documentary on Tubi. I'll actually post the link in the comment section if you're interested in watching it. And I've read several articles. Nadine was still homesick. She was still new to Canada, and St. Catharines at the time was not, diverse at all. I haven't been there. I've probably been up there like maybe once or twice. I haven't gone up there in forever. So I don't know how diverse it is now, but I'm assuming from 1999 to 2024, it's changed a whole lot. Nadine wanted to be around her people, her community. She wanted to be in a Jamaican community. Paul wanted to stay in St. Catharines because that's where his family is. And, they started to butt heads.
Me and Nadine met in Montego Bay, Jamaica in 1990. Relationship developed after that, and then I married her. She came here in 1992, Nadine, up to Canada. When we found out Nadine was pregnant, everybody was happy. It was a great time. I would say Heather would be about a year old before things started to fall apart. She wanted to move to the Jamaican community.
They separated and Nadine moved to Toronto. But then Paul filed for full custody of Heather, and he actually won full custody. When her daughter was taken from her full time, Nadine then became an exotic dancer. When Nadine moved to Toronto, 2 of her last known addresses here were 1765 Western Road and 2360 Western Road. It's also alleged, and I have to say alleged because this wasn't released in police documents that I can find, but I found this on a Reddit thread where it was stated by someone that she also used to work at a club called Fantasia and Grad West. I'm not sure where those would have been, but it would also be in the Toronto, Mississauga area. She was working at a strip club called Maryland's in Mississauga, which was in the Dixie and Britannia area. It's, closed down now. And she was last seen there alive on May 6, 1999. She was in the company of a man that she was familiar with or that she was seen with before. Her body was found on May 8th, but then police actually believe that it was dumped in the ditch on May 7th. They believe that she was unalive somewhere else and then brought to where she was dumped at Victoria and 8th Avenue. Now, police has never officially came out and said, announced her cause of death. However, on the show that I watched, To Catch a Killer on Tubi, link will be in the comment section, they identify her cause of death as a broken neck, and she had internal injuries. She wasn't essayed. She wasn't assaulted in that manner, but she had internal injuries. And again, this didn't come directly from the police department's mouth.
Cause of death was determined to be a combination of a broken neck and severe internal injuries. No sign of sexual assault.
But it's been 25 years. Her case has never been solved. No real witnesses has really come forward. Only one, ex-dancer that knew her at the time. And she danced under the stage name Sam, Sammy, or Melissa. She was a petite woman. She was 5'4", 130 pounds. Actually, I'm not sure if that would be considered petite, but 5'4", 130 pounds. And during the show I was watching, I wish that they had went back to Jamaica, maybe found her family and talked about her some more. Like, what was her aspirations growing up? Like, where in Jamaica is she actually from? I'm assuming Montego Bay because that's where she met Paul. But she could have been anywhere. Could have been from anywhere. Does she have brothers, sisters? How does her mother feel? We only have one perspective from the Canadian side, and not a lot of people really knew her here. And all she's remembered as is Nadine, the exotic dancer. Because on the show I was watching, that's all, that's what she was labeled as. Like, we don't really have a story for her. And her daughter Heather is now an adult. She had a son. The last update I had from her is from 2020, 2021. At the time, she had a son. So I don't know if she had gone on to have more kids, but Nadine would have been a grandmother. She didn't even get to, 26 is still pretty young in my eyes. She didn't even really get to live life yet. She was in a new phase, a new country, and she lost her way a little bit, but she didn't even get the opportunity to come back from that. And like I said, it's been 25 years. Information to contact the Niagara Homicide Unit would be on screen and also in the description box. You can also call Crime Stoppers anonymously. They have the DNA of the perpetrator. All they need is a suspect, a name to test against. You don't even have to go to court to testify. I think her family deserves answers, deserve justice. But that's all I have on this case. Like I said, there's not a lot of information about Nadine, unfortunately, other than she was found not alive in a ditch on the side of a road where someone just dumped her. She was found there on May 8th, 1999 and was unidentified for 3 weeks. Her husband, they were about to get divorced, and he didn't even realize that she had started to dance. So Paul is being quoted as saying, "I don't know why she made that decision. Things must have taken a turn for the worse. Maybe it was for financial reasons. I don't know, but I'll always feel guilty about that." So he still had love for her. I mean, of course, she's his ex-wife. They have a child together. But if you have any details about this case and you think you may be able to help solve it, contact the Homicide Unit. That's all I have on this case. I will see you in the next video. If you're not yet subscribed, please do so. Like and share this video, and I'll see you in the next one.